Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brotherhood of Gaming podcast. I'm your lovely host, William Morris.
I'm your co-host, Eugene Morris.
And I am your guest, Vash.
who might be a mainstay. Who knows? Kind of.
Vash from the Vash 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 fame.
Oh, yeah. I usually go by the Bionic Dolphin now.
Oh,
I
really?
found out that's what the military named a submarine. The Vash.
Alright.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Well, yeah, we figured, kind of known him for 10 years. Not really doing much. Might as well have him do something.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Gotta abuse this somehow.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to the channel where only us know what Vash looks like.
Yeah, that's right. We went to Disneyland.
Yep. Gotta do that again, too.
Yeah.
Okay, first topic for today is the Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS games are coming to the Wii U Virtual Console. About dang time.
Yeah, it's about time that they put them on there. Just I'm a little weary about it. Because so far, every time Nintendo has released like a Virtual Console-esque thing, there's always some sort of problem with it. And they charge a lot, too.
Yeah, honestly, they charge too much for me in general when it comes to Virtual Console things. Like, even for, as far as I know, on the 3DS for the original Super Mario Brothers, like, it's like, I think $5? Or, yeah, and I'm just like, really? $5 is too much. I want to pay for Mario Bros. 1.
Yeah. But like I remember when they released Galaxy 2 in the Virtual Console, and everyone was going crazy and like threw their money at it, and it was $20, and it was like, it wasn't upscaled, nothing. It's just the same old game for the Wii, like nothing. And then I was watching a speed run of Super Mario 64 from the Virtual Console of the Wii U, and they were saying that there was input lag, so they couldn't use it for speed running.
Yeah, and it's a shame, too, because speedrunners, when they play Super Mario 64, they make those speedruns look beautiful.
Yeah, and they need it as, you know,
Smooth
as
as possible for the,
yeah,
for the button
exactly.
commands, because, yeah, the input timing is crucial to those games.
Yeah, but it's weird that they're now putting those on there. Like, how long has the Wii U been out for? Like 3 years?
Yeah, around there, and I also know that, from what I've heard, Donkey Kong 64 just now got the Virtual Console treatment.
Oh yeah. They announced that during the what was that thing called? Nintendo Direct. That after the Nintendo Direct, 64 was out, Super Mario 64, and then the next week was gonna be Donkey Kong 64, which I'll probably grab because like
Yeah, interestingly,
I own it.
about a few weeks prior, I actually picked up Donkey Kong 64 for my Nintendo 64, so I was just like, wow, that's interesting timing.
Yeah, like that's one of the few like 64 games I never beat because it was really long, and like it's really hard to play a 64 game on an HD TV. So that would be nice to actually play it and it not look like complete garbage.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I've got one of them HD TVs that can actually manipulate the screen to look like whatever it is you're channeling. Because, I don't know, for some reason when we do it, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But to each
I
his
don't
own.
know.
So, Gene, you've been awfully quiet. What are your things? What's your thoughts on this?
Just kind of thinking about it, about this whole generation in general, is that, you know, I'm just thinking about I have my credit card information now on 2 different consoles. So if I had the Wii U, I would have it on 3. And, you know, it just seems like that's the way it's going. But it seems like I'm always wary about putting my information on there because these things get hacked all the time. And you just wonder if, you know, some guy's going to hack into the system and take all your credit card information like they did a few years ago with the
Yeah, so it wouldn't be the
PlayStation.
first time.
Right. And it just kind of makes me think about, you know, it's funny that they're putting all these things on there because retro gaming is kind of hot right now, where you have people going to these swap meets looking for these deals. So they're kind of thinking, hey, why don't we get on this money since we made these games? Why don't we put it on here and try to offer it? So
Yeah, like honestly, I thought what took them so long to put Nintendo DS games on the Wii U because you already have like a pad, like a controller that has a screen on it, and then you got the TV screen. So I'm like, you're really missing out on opportunities here. You could totally port DS games here on the big screen that originally weren't. So imagine you could have Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, the original. If Namco wanted to get off their lazy butts and do something, they could translate Tales of Innocence and actually put their on there too.
you know, guys, I've actually had a very up and down history when it comes to downloading games off of a PlayStation service or Xbox One Live. I remember one time I downloaded the Japanese version of Mega Man 2, Rock Band 2.
Oh yeah.
And the controls had like a lag.
Yeah, on the PlayStation 3 for availability, because apparently in Japan they did these remasters, or I wouldn't say remasters, but they kind of re-released.
Just re-released.
Yeah, the original Mega Man games on PlayStation over in Japan. But I don't know if the original PlayStation games were like this too, but there is catastrophic delay in the button controls where you think we're exaggerating, but no, it was literally, if not a little over half a second off when Mega Man would jump after you press the jump button. And my God, that is the worst thing you could ever have in a Mega Man game from the old days.
Yeah, I remember the playing the Mega Man collection on PS2 on a PS3, and X1 and 2 had really bad button delay. But the other ones worked fine. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, running to like a ledge and then you press jump and you just run into the hole.
Yeah, I don't know for that, running off a ledge before I hit the jump button.
I know, like, that was happening so often, and I thought Gene was just sucking at the game, so I came over to play it myself, and I'm like, oh, no, complaints justified. I see what you mean.
A couple other stories I have. I remember one time when I had on the Wii, yeah, that was another one I had credit card information on. I tried to buy Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3, but the transition wouldn't go through.
So you bought it?
Bought it, but I didn't download.
You know, interesting how the transaction for the money was able to go through, but not the actual download.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then recently on my Xbox One, I bought and downloaded the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition because it was on sale. And I guess the copy was corrupted because we ran into a part where there was this weird glitch.
Yes, that is right. I don't know if your download got corrupted somehow within the download time, but yeah, there was the part where if you guys remember Tomb Raider, the 2013 remake, there's a part in the game, kind of a cinematic part, kind of a big part that everybody remembers, where she's climbing up the really long tower to make the radio signal.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And as soon as she gets to the top, a cutscene plays. But then we noticed that her body immediately kind of jolts.
And the camera kind of jolts upward.
Yeah, immediately within the cutscene. And we thought that was kind of weird, but it started to play out okay. But then as soon as you get to the part where she's tampering with the radio, where you have to like set the frequency, her body is completely up off of the building. And she's kind of using her hands to move the dials, but there's nothing in her hands. It's just nothing but
the
sky.
Dial is actually underneath the camera. So you really just have to guess what's going on.
I took the remote and I had to fiddle with it for like 15 minutes before I managed to like muddle my way through and trigger the next part of the game because there was nothing there to tell you whether you were getting it right or wrong. I just kind of had to move the analog sticks like one notch at a time until I thought I was getting like a proper signal because there was nothing there. Oh, yeah, and also the audio was messed up, too, so the audio wouldn't help us. But the rest of the game ran nicely, but for some reason, that part of the game was messed up beyond belief. No reloading of checkpoints would fix it.
I don't know. I just think when it comes to retro games, I just like using my older consoles. They're just more reliable.
Yeah. It's funny how, like, they cost less than half and last twice as long.
That's another good point. How these things they're like what, $29.99, $30 depending on the console, on the virtual console, but you can get a lot cheaper at other places.
Actually, you'd think, but with resellers and scalpers on the high right now, getting all of these old games and charging you triple for them, it makes you wonder what is the better option, to get it online where you don't physically have it and you might risk corruption, or do you want to just suck it up and pay the scalper and reseller up the butt just to get that old nostalgic game back?
Yeah, man. What I usually do is if it's really that big of a price difference, then I'll just suck it up and buy it off the virtual console or something like Tomba 2. Like, I don't think I'm gonna pay $120 for that, and I could just get it for $5.99 on PSN.
What's the most expensive you paid for a retro game?
Probably, what is it called? What's it? Tales of Destiny? Oh. I paid I think $120 for it.
You don't say.
Well, hey, those are expensive. Those are really expensive.
Our American versions are,
yeah. I think I found that at a store. I paid like $120 for it.
Yeah,
but most of it was store credit though, so that's why I agreed to buy it. So I only ended up paying like $35 out of my pocket, but.
Yeah, I know that Tales of Eternia is actually one of the holy grails of the PlayStation 1 because it was one of the last releases on the console because the game was released in the USA in
2000.
Late 2000 or 2001, and by that time the GameCube, PlayStation, and Xbox were already into their first year of the lifespan, so everybody had kind of moved on and forgotten about the last console. So of course it didn't sell too well, but it like now it's kind of growing. So yeah, that's that. But when it comes to like Nintendo 64 and the DS games, like it's about time.
That's kind of cool because, like I said, I have very little history in the Nintendo 64 era because I left and went the Sony PlayStation route, and I never had a DS. So
Traitor!
It would be cool to play these games because, like I said, I've never had any experience with them. It's like playing a new game all over again.
Yeah, like the only question you have to wonder is like what games are they gonna get on there? Like I'm not really interested in the Nintendo 64 part of it because well we all still have our Nintendo 64s with the memory expansions and a really big list of games for them already. So not really much there, but actually I do see a lot of potential with the Nintendo DS games being put on there since that's not entirely easily accessible.
Yeah, so it was Tales of Destiny 2 that I bought. That's the one I got. That was so much.
Oh, you mean our Tales of Destiny 2 as in Tales of Eternia?
Tales of Eternia.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's the one that I paid a lot of money for.
Worth every cent.
Yeah, best game ever
Yeah,
made.
it is.
Yeah, because I was gonna say if you paid that much for the first one, you kind of got ripped off.
Oh, yeah. I get them mixed up
Would be
sometimes.
nice.
Yeah, like 'cause the first one is expensive too, but not that expensive.
Yeah, I get them mixed up all the time. But I went over to my shelf and checked.
Awesome.
But that's probably the most I've ever paid for a retro game.
Yeah, so, well, guys, there you have it on the Nintendo 64 and the DS games. Please tell us in the comments below what games you might be looking forward to on the Virtual Console. If you didn't have a Nintendo 64 growing up, if you didn't have a Nintendo DS, what games and titles are you looking forward to on the Virtual Console? And or are you even interested in the Virtual Console at all? Do you think it's a bad idea? Let us know. We'd love to get a conversation started here. Maybe even Vash will start commenting down there too, so there's a good reason.
Yep.
So, let us know, and we will see you next time.